Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. Today is a new day with a new time trial on Gran Turismo 7, and this time trial PD have treated us to a little tester around Catalunya Rallycross circuit, and it's in the GR Yaris High Performance 2020. I think this week's going to be a fairly easy time trial to gold. The current number one time is a 43-second flat, I believe. I've managed to get a 43.271, which is currently P3 in the world. Fairly decent time, but I do expect that to drop. Hopefully it'll stay on the first page, but yeah, I expect a few of the rally experts to get stuck into this and bring that time way down. But yeah, I've managed to set a decent time. Thought I'd share it with you, give you some tips and pointers. So without further ado, I'll talk you around the lap, stopping it at points, giving you tips and pointers, and then I'll let it play through in one go. Now, the first thing to know is, or the first tip is, on your first lap, to gain about 2 or 3 tenths, don't just take the hairpin and cross the line. Reverse up to this back corner, get it in first gear, and accelerate over the line this way. You go over the line much quicker and you gain about 2 or 3 tenths just by doing this one thing alone. You probably cross the line at about 40 miles an hour if you go around the hairpin with a good exit, but as you can see, we're going 50 miles an hour through doing it that way. So first corner, we want to be setting this up as far left as you dare to that barrier, and as soon as we go past that barrier, you want to be getting onto the brakes, turning it in, starting the slide, and getting it into second gear. And we want to be hugging that apex, the inside barrier, as much as we can whilst balancing the throttle. If the wheels start spinning too much, the car starts sliding, losing speed around the corner, and it also starts losing momentum forward on the exit. So it is quite important to balance the throttle and not just keep it pinned. You can make it round by keeping the throttle flat, but it's going to be slower, and you'll see how I do this now. Just balancing the throttle and then get it pinned for the exit. Now here with this circuit, it's all about thinking about 3 or 4 corners ahead. So we want to be keeping it as far left as we can to this barrier, to make the jump over the hill towards the left hand side, because we're going round a right-hander. And as we're jumping over that hill, we want to have our steering input to the right hand side to initiate a slide, and then we'll be in third gear. And again, we want to balance the throttle using the same technique, to keep it moving forward without sliding too much. So you see how early that steering input is. We're already fully over to the right hand side, which initiates the slide. Now here we want to be keeping as tight to this barrier on the right hand side, and then braking down into second gear, clipping the apex on the left hand side, getting it down to about 30 miles an hour, letting off the accelerator and the brake, and allowing the car to rotate and turn round. It turns much better without any inputs, without brake, without throttle. And once you've got the car rotated, you want to keep it tight to the left hand barrier on the exit and get on the throttle nice and early and over to the left hand side for a good exit, and to shorten the length of track that you're traveling. Brake down into second, 30 mile an hour, coast, accelerate out, and then over to the left hand side. Now your next braking point is where that sign on the right hand side just starts disappearing out of the screen. You see there? That's when we get on the brake. 50% brake input here, but if you brake more than that as you're turning, it'll just start understeering out. Get down to about 60 mile an hour, and again, let the car coast for a couple of seconds, and aim to keep it as tight to the apex all the way round, because we've got a tricky chicane that we're coming into, and we need to set the angle up for that. So keep it over to the left, and again here we want to be keeping as close to that barrier on the right hand side and turning very early to start the car sliding for the left hand turn. And that left hand turn, you want to be getting your front wheels over the grass, cutting the corner with your front two wheels. If one of the rear tyres cuts over the grass, it invalidates your lap. You're allowed 2 tyres off the track limits, but any more than that, it invalidates it. So braking point is pretty much as soon as you're leaving that corner, dab on the brakes, get it slowed down. You see how I'm turning very early to the left hand side, the steering, and put the little red dot above the accelerator. Get it rotated round, on the gas nice and early, and now we want to be keeping it, we want to try and get the 2 wheels over the grass with the centre of the car lined up with the bump. You see where the gradient of that bump is at its highest? You don't want the wheels going over that, otherwise it really throws the car off balance and out of line. You want your 2 wheels over the other side of that so it stays relatively settled, because you need to get it over to the right hand side for the final corner. There we go. Now here, this is the only point where I use the handbrake. So I'm trying to get it over to the right hand side. I start braking and then I just tap on the handbrake. I've mapped a button on my steering wheel to the handbrake so that I can get the back end turned around and rotated so I can line up the exit. I'll try and pause it. When the handbrake's on, when the ABS light kind of fully lights up. So just there, you see that? That's where I'm braking, and I've just tapped the handbrake there with full left-hand turn, and you see the car really starts to slide round now. We've got it rotated. Look how early I'm on the gas. I can't even see the exit of the corner, but you need to get on the gas early, otherwise it bogs down in second gear. So we're on full throttle input there. Car's sliding round, and we set up the exit for a 46.271. So that's the lap guide with the talk through. I will let you watch this all the way through without interruption, so you can see how that all works together without me pausing it constantly. And there we have it. I did actually, funny story, well not that funny story, but you can see I'm watching this in replay mode rather than on the actual screen of the time trial. That's because I did the talk through after I did this, and I realised I'd not switched the sound to my headphones, so I was just talking to myself and just recorded it. But let's have a look, see if we're still P3. Might have moved in that time. No. There we are, we're still P3, 2 times at 46.0, just in front of Tidgney. So yeah, we'll see. What does it take to stay on the first page right now? Well, there's obviously not a lot of people who've done this yet. So 47.3, which is only just in the gold. So maybe I'm mistaken. It might be more difficult than I anticipate, but I can't see that being the case. Especially not with this lap guide. Once you watch this lap guide, then surely you'll blitz it. Maybe not everybody knows that little trick, crossing the line. Shall we have a quick look actually and see whether Mr. Lee does the same, or whether he's just so much better than me that he can do. No, yeah, he's doing exactly the same. That's good to know. Okay, right, I won't watch the rest of that. Okay, yeah, so that's today's video done and dusted. I hope that helps you get the 2 million credits and the gold time. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you could leave a little like. If you're not already subscribed, please do. It helps me out very much. But yeah, just appreciate you watching anyway. Until the next time, I'll see you later.